What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin. Wanted to get some NBA talk in. The topic I wanted to talk about was actually a topic that was talked about last week. It's that NBA players and coaches want a shorter season. Guys like Eric Spoelstra, C.J. McCollum, point guard for Portland Trailblazers, and some really notable players such as Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks and LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those some of the notable names that it was actually brought up in the article. I'll have that article linked down below in the description, and it pretty much just saying that you know these these players, coaches, they want the ones that I listed, they want shorter seasons around about 66 games. I guess from what they state is risk of injury. They want with less games, there's less of a risk of injury. Obviously, the NBA is actually experimenting with 44 games in the preseason. 44 minutes in the preseason. And the players say that really won't affect anything because it's not the minutes, it's just the amount of games played. Because even if they go with the 44 minutes, they're still gonna have to play 82 games. So they feel as though it could be 48 minutes, but they want mid 60s. They want mid to low 60s in terms of amount of games that's actually being played. I can see that, from their standpoint where they're saying, okay, less games, obviously going to be a less risk of injury. And, it's kind of a way they're pretty much trying to protect, they're trying to protect themselves, trying to protect the other players, trying to protect their brand. So that's understandable. 82 games is that's a long season. A lot of guys take beating on their bodies. Guys playing hurt. So I understand that, but I think that for me, I think it's also you're doing a service to the fans. The fans are what make the NBA what it is. That's me looking at from the fans' perspective. From the players' perspective, I understand. But from the fans, the fans are paying to go to these games. They are the lifeblood of the NBA. Fans are the ones that buy the jerseys, the ones that put asses in the seats, the ones that buy the league passes, the ones watching live games, getting revenue for these organizations. So I think it's more a service to the fans. Also, even if you play a 66 game season, there's always a risk of injury. There's always a risk of injury when you play a contact sport, such as football. Football actually wanted to go with an extended season, and players weren't going for that because football is a really high risk of injury. Even in the NBA, where it's obviously less contact than football, that's still that risk of injury. Guys can get hurt in the first game. Guys can get hurt in the 10th game. You could have a 40 game season, and there's still a chance guys can get hurt. Less of a chance, and guys will be fresher for the playoffs. I think that's what a lot of the players really want. They want to be fresher for the playoffs. 66 games. You'll have more injury coming into the playoffs. A lot of players come in and have lost so many minutes. Especially a guy like LeBron James who lost so many minutes. Usually plays upwards to 70 plus games a year. He'll miss a few. So he lost a lot of minutes. He plays for around 40 minutes a game. So that's also a reason because they want to be fresher for the playoffs. So that way, obviously they can make that run for that championship. But for me, it's more of it's service to the fans, and the guys have been playing it so long. Why complain about it now? And then that's not to say players before them didn't complain, but so many players, for notable names like a LeBron James, like a Dirk, to come out and say that, I was actually kind of surprised that Dirk said it. But he's an older player, so probably he feels differently now than he did, say, 6-7 years ago when he was younger, where he could go through a grueling season without being nicked up or extremely fatigued. So I guess that's how he sees it. And he's an older player. Another team that could benefit from is the San Antonio Spurs. They have older players, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. Um, they could use the rest. They get the rest anyway because Greg Popovich does a good job of giving these guys rest throughout the season, especially in back-to-backs. I think, and that's one thing players don't like is the back-to-back games. Especially when you're going from say Miami plays someone at home, then they have to go all the way over to Portland like that next day. To me, that is pretty bad, and that's what a lot of players don't like, because you're going to be really tired in back-to-back games, and sometimes you even got a back-to-back in which you're traveling from here, and here, and that's pretty tough. Although 3 games in a row hardly ever happens, but back-to-backs happen quite often for a lot, for pretty much every team. But I can understand where the players coming from. I play devil's advocate. I understand where the players coming from, but I'm also looking at it from the fan perspective of it's a service to the fans, and you've been doing the 82 games for a really long time, and like I said, it's a service to the fans. But I wanted to keep this video short. Give my take on the whole shorter season thing and how I feel about it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Should the NBA have a shorter season? What do you think about the players that's saying this? Of course, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.